So first thing, I want to thank Abdul Qadir is not here for inviting me, and I really appreciate that action of him. And for this topic, I chose SublimeText because one of the let me show you this. We'll understand a lot of things. Look at it again for a second time. Actually, this is what happens if you're a newbie or newcomer to software development or any field. So you'll feel lost and you are like in a big sea just swimming by yourself. So what I'm doing, especially in our era, there is a lot of information, so it's difficult to choose the right information, okay? So the first one to be a developer is to have a code editor, of course. If you want to write programs, you must have, the obvious one is a computer or laptop. The second obvious one is a code editor where you write your code, okay? So choosing the right or the wise code editor will be a good improvement for yourself, okay? For this day, I chose the SublimeText because it's awesome, and I've used it for, I think, from the late 2013. No? It's very good. I didn't change it from there. I tried to use NetBeans. It sucks, believe me. I tried also Visual Studio. I won't say my word about Visual Studio. Okay, I tried a lot of products. The two ones that were very good, they are, I think, Vim or Vi and SublimeText. They are very good. Okay, but in this session, we will talk about both at the end, hopefully at the end of this session. Okay, so let's see what is SublimeText, the configuration, how to configure your code editors, because generally you have a fresh installation of SublimeText and you want to customize it. You want to modify some configurations. For example, like the space, if you want them just tabs or free spaces, so it's configurable, okay? Then the Comet Palette is the powerful feature of SublimeText. We have also file handlings. We'll deal with the file handlings, how you copy files, how you open files, etc. You search into files, etc. Oops, we'll talk about some cool stuff there. And build systems, which is very cool feature. Then we will tackle snippets, how to write snippets. Then plugins, okay? That's it. So it's about 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 points, 8 main points, okay? So let's get to it. So this is do you see the picture? Do you get the picture? This is the main interface of the fresh installation of SublimeText. If you install SublimeText, or first step to download it from the website, the official website, and you install SublimeText, you will get this interface, okay? With this nice blacky hacky screen over here, and with the sidebar over there, with all the files. We have here, as you can see, it's down below, it's the line numbers or sidebar. We have also here the main interface, as I told you, is here where you write your code. We have also here down, it's the type of the file, meaning HTML file, JavaScript file, etc. Yes. And we have also here, if you can see it. Yeah, this is, yes, meaning if you hit Control Save or Command Save, you will see that nice pop-up.
Sometimes you just press enter and
yes, you get to the official website, yeah. And you're very concentrated on your work, and then you're in the website. That's it. Believe me, it's worth it. $60 is nothing.
70.
Even let's say $100. It's worth it. Yes, this is the configuration. Let's talk a little bit about the configuration. SublimeText is one of the editors that's hackable. Hackable meaning everything is configurable. You can modify it and play around with it, okay? And I'm going to show you in a few. And in the configuration, there is two kind of configuration. There is the default configurations, as we have here, the default configurations, which is also two types. We have the settings. Settings, for example, if you want to change the color, for example, the color. Okay. For example, if you want to change the color and the space, etc., and the font also, you use settings. If you want, for example, to use key binding, for example, Control S for saving or Command S for something else, it's in the key bindings. So you bind keys. Okay. This is for default configurations. So they are not modifiable. So you can't modify them. Okay. We have the second part, which is user, which means we or us. In the user, we have also settings. Settings meaning the user settings or our personal settings, meaning my configuration and your configuration. Every person's configuration is different or probably different than the other's configuration. Okay? We have also key bindings. Okay? Let me show you in the real world. Let me just. By the way, this is Ubuntu fresh version. Istanbul coders. Okay, so this is a modified version. I have it's with the flat theme. It's like okay. So we have here the menu. We have here the main interface. Let me change the the color scheme because it's dark here and you can't see it. Let's see. Yes, so there is light. Yeah, this is beautiful. Yes, this is beautiful. Everyone can see in this. Now you can see, even I can even increase the, let's increase the size, okay? So this is the SublimeText. We have here, in the preference, we have here, as I told you, the settings. We have the default settings, and the user settings, meaning our settings. And we have also the key binding, the default key bindings and the user key binding. Let's dig in these settings. For example, in the settings, it's JSON file. Do you know about JSON? JSON file. Yes, this is JSON file. For example, in this we have font face. You can specify your font face. For example, Arial or Comic or any font face that you want. Here is the size. For example, yes, Comic Sans maybe. Yeah, maybe Comic Sans. And here we have a lot of options. Okay, we have margins, a lot of options. Yes. And the good thing about SublimeText, and it's good and it's bad at the same things. The same thing. People claim that Sublime is not good. If you tell them why, they will respond with, they don't. It doesn't have a graphical interface or GUI interface to configure things. Man, believe me, you are a developer. You're not a simple user, so you won't need graphical user interface to configure your editor. Because as you may know, it's pretty how to say obvious that GUI interfaces are just a layer on top of the real configuration. Okay, for example, in this case, if I may add an interface, you will see, for example, font, and you have two buttons: increase, decrease. So instead of clicking on the button plus many times, you come just here, for example, here. For example, I want to increase it to 14. I just come here, 10, replace it with 14, and you're free to go, okay? This is the developer stuff. If you are a developer, you must be lazy. Lazy not in the meaning of laziness, sleeping all day, but lazy meaning to find the quick way to get things done, okay? This is the default configuration, so we can't modify files. For example, if I want to, look, I'm trying to change this value, I'm not allowed to change it. I'm using my keyboard. I can't erase this 10. But if I use this in the user settings, if I come here, for example, it's 12. Let's change it for 15. And let's save. As you can see, the nice thing about SublimeText, The modification are real time. So you change the value, you just save the file, and boom, you got the real result, okay? So for example, let's change it to 20. Boom, that's it. Let's get it back, for example, to here's the nice that you were talking about. Oh shit, let me alone. Okay, that's it. I would like just to ask you a simple question. In your opinion, what's the difference or why there is existence of two kind of configuration, the user configuration and the default configuration, in your opinion? What's the reason behind this? Please go ahead.
To protect your configurations of changing by upgrades or updates.
Yeah, that's very good. That's very good. Because if you don't put your custom configurations in this custom or user file, it will be erased if there is an upgrade. It's a very great answer. Thank you. You're concentrating with us. Thank you. Okay, let's now move on. Okay, so we have this configuration. We go to here, preferences. We have settings, the default settings, and the settings user. Okay, we have also key binding. The key binding, as I told you, it's about the key binding. For example, we have the keys. We have control plus K. It's for the command. It's exit, and the keys control shift, and it's for new window. Okay, so these are the, and the tricky thing is, for example, if you want to modify something and you don't know how to do it. For example, let's say I want to change the font size, and I'm new to Sublime. I want to see how to make it in the first place. So a trick that I can use, I go to the default configuration, because in the default configuration you will see all the possibilities that you can change. So I come here, for example, default settings, and I browse here. And as you can see in the comments, in the comment section here, for example, everything is documented above. Okay, so for example, in here that says, note that the font size and font size are overridden in the platform, etc. Okay, so just head or go directly to the default configuration, grab the property, put it in your file, and change the value. Okay, according to your need. So this is the very good thing about SublimeText. We have also key binding, like I told you. For me, I define these keys. My definitions are like these ones. For example, I have toggle sidebars. For example, like this one. As you can see, this nice one. Sidebar is toggle. Okay, so I have a key here. Control. Yeah, as you can see here, I have the comment, Control C, then Control B. Okay, so you can tweak it as you want. Okay, so this is about the configuration. Now let's get back to, yes. Now the Comet Palette. If anyone knows about the Comet Palette, please raise your hand. The Comet Palette. Can you tell us a little bit about the Comet Palette?
Comet Palette is the input text or the small panel that allows you to list all the functions in the editor. So instead of like going through all the menu items, you just type zoom in, for example. So it brings you the zoom in command, and you just press on enter.
Yes, that's great. It's actually, for example, it's like the center of the thing. For example, instead of going and clicking on the button and open new file, just pick the Comet Palette and write the comment open file, and you will get it pop up. Okay, so it's like an easy way. I will show you in a minute. Okay, so to get to the Comet Palette, you have two options. You have the option using a keyboard, which is the best one. This is the first one, which is you go to Tools, Comet Palette, then you click on it. And for developers, if you're a real developer, using a mouse is very bad. Okay. For real developers, they try to use as less as possible the mouse, because if you use the mouse, look at my hands. You have your hands in the keyboard. If you use your mouse, you're going to release this hand. You will last about 5 or less 2 seconds. You will go there, change, then come back. it's 2 or 3 seconds wasted there, okay? So just stay with the keyboard, okay? So we have this or the usual one, which is go to tools, Comet Palette. This is the beginners or the obvious solution. So go there, just click, then click, then click, okay? This is the Comet Palette. And the best one, which is Control-Shift-P. 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 P standing for palette. So it's, you can put it in your hand, okay? In your head. So for example, in this case, if you are experienced developer, you will come here and do this. And if you are beginner or you're just chilling, you come here and Comet Palette. Okay? Look, it took me, look, for example, if we take a real experiment. Look, I'm here. Look, it's 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. Look, whereas when I'm here, it's barely 1 second. And if you do this a lot of times, and believe me, Comet Palette is very important or very essential tool, so you are going to waste a lot of seconds, which means if you sum them all, maybe minutes or hours, okay? So this is the Comet Palette, okay? And the Comet Palette is useful, for example, let's say I have this file. Let's say, for example, intro.js, a file I called it intro, okay? Let's say as a comment, hello, okay? Let me just zoom in. For example, I'm saying hello code, Istanbul coders. If I want, for example, let's try to capitalize all the letters, make them all capital. If you use, like I told you, you can come here, then Tools, Comet Palette, then capitalize or capital, upper case, okay? You click this and boom. You click this and uppercase, okay? But if you are a real developer or you're a geek, as we call, just this one. Shit. Because there is, okay? I'm not really a developer. This is why I'm not getting it, okay? For example, let's say, for example, I have a lot of titles. For example, let's say I have, for example, this document. For example, let's try to change the type of the document. It's JavaScript document. Let's try to convert it into HTML document. So what we do, we come here, boom, and that's it. Now the file is HTML file. For example, if I write, okay? So you can see here, I don't know if it's not obvious here, at the very bottom, in the left, in the right corner, at the very bottom of the left corner, you will see the type of this file. It's a JavaScript file, but I'm writing HTML. For example, I'm here. Let's say, for example, I have H2 tag. For example, let's say hello. Then I have another H3. For example, let's say exit or something like that. Okay? For example, if I want hello, for example. Okay? For example, if I want to change this, what I do this, let's make it title. As you can see, it's changed directly. Instead of going in this H and holding the shift key, then H, it's very wasted. It's a lot of time wasted out there. Okay? So it's very, very hacky to use this Comet Palette. Okay? For example, let's say also we have, for example, let's say we are here. Let's say, for example, something apps function hello. Okay, I'm back in JavaScript. Even the code highlighting is JavaScript. For example, let's say hello, a function called hello. It's str parameter. For example, let's say return. For example, let's say, as you say in Turkish. Is it like this? in Turkish?
E, with E.
First A should be
E.
No, E.
This one.
Yeah.
How you spell it? Merhaba. It's like mirhaba. Yeah, let's say for example this, and we just append this one. This. Yeah. Okay. Let's also try to. Let's say just this. Oops. Okay, now let's just think. Okay, so if I execute this with okay, look here, what I have here, I have simple function, it accepts single str or single parameter, then it will append to it or prepend to it merhaba, and then print it out, okay, and also console and log it to the console. The next thing in Sublime, if you don't know, look what happens if I hit Control B. What are you seeing in this screen?
I couldn't see in the how you change the file type. I couldn't see the comment.
Yes, that's
I
great.
write in white.
Yeah, that's great. Actually, you use the Comment Palette. For filing the Comment Palette, we said you have two options. The very basic option that you use the mouse, which is very obvious, you won't use it. The second one is to Control Shift P. Control Shift P. Let's say Control Shift P. Okay? For example, I want to change the syntax. For example, for this one, it's JavaScript file. If I want to change it to Python, for example, I can write syntax, then, no, the real thing is set syntax to point pi.
Yes, I cannot see now.
You can't see, let's try to.
That place.
It's like this. You write this command. You write literally this command. Set syntax to point colon Python. Okay, but the easy way, because it's a fuzzy search way. Do you know about fuzzy search? It's like you type just some letters and it will pick the right thing. Okay. So what I write just set or simply C S U S Y and then pi, it will pop up. So I just enter. And if I'm very fast, syn pi. I want to PHP, syn PHP. Okay? So it's very fast when you're using the Comment Palette. Okay? So this is the Comment Palette. But the real thing that we are talking about here, you didn't told me what it is. For example, what you are seeing in the above section, what you are seeing in the console.
That I will take the function.
Yes.
0.1 second.
Yes, it's the time. And above the time, what you see? What it means, what does that mean? Yes, output, you're close to the answer. It means that I'm running JavaScript inside of my code editor. Yeah, that's the mean. I'm executing, this is a file JavaScript. The output or the result is here. Okay, so this is a great thing. We will get to it, okay? So now let's get back to the presentation. Yes, this is the Comment Palette. Yes, as we said, it's used for a lot of things. For example, change the syntax name like we've discussed. Also, change the case, uppercase, lowercase, title case, and all the other cases. We have also add snippets. We will talk about snippets and how to use them. We have also installing packages, packages meaning plugins or new modules to extend the functionality of SublimeText, okay? We have also removing packages, obviously, list installed, and a lot of things, okay? And much more. This is the Comment Palette. It's very, very important aspect of SublimeText, okay? Now we are at file handling. File handling meaning opening files and switching between files. Because if you are a developer, it's a known fact that you are switching a lot of times between files. For example, I'm in file index.js and in another file, for example, main.js or user.js. So you are switching between files all the time. And if you use the traditional way, which means using this one, this piece of crap, okay? So if you're using this one, it's gonna take you a lot of time, obviously. But thanks for Sublime, there is an alternative for this, okay? So file handling, if you go for, there is two methods actually. There is the Comet Palette method and there is the one that uses the most. For example, for the first one, go to, then go to anything. The second, Control P. So for the Comet Palette or the Control Palette, it's Control Shift P. For opening files, it's Command or Control P. So you remove the shift, okay? Let me show you in real world. Example here. For example, let's say I want to create, let's say, user.js file, okay? I have two files. If I switch to the sidebar, as you can see, do you see this? It's intro, it's this user file. So I have two files. The traditional way is to go here and switch here. So as we said, as we've discussed previously, so you lose focus. Once you grab the mouse, boom, you're out of control, okay? So there is the way that Sublime, how to say, provide us with is to use the files handling, okay? So for files handling, as we said, you go to or go to anything, which is a method that you don't want to use, believe me. The other way is Control P, as we've said. Control P. Boom. You have all files listed. For example, let's try to pick 3 files. For example, let's try to create file1.js and also file2.js and file3.js. Okay, we have 3 files. File1, file2, file3.js, for example. In this case, let's close them all, for example. And if you want, for example, to switch it, let's say, for example, in file 1, for example, let's say you have a function called, I don't know, first. For example, let's say this. And file 2, you have second. And file 3, you have third function. Okay? So in each file we have single function. In file 1 we have function first, in file 2 we have function second, and etc. Okay? So in the real world, if you want to switch between files and you use the mouse, you are here, then here, then here. You waste a lot of times. But if you use the file handling feature that's provided by SublimeText, you just Control P. And you have all the files listed here. For example, I have file 2, file 3. And the nice thing about SublimeText, it also provides the recent file that you were in. For example, the previous file I was in, for example, I was in, for example, file 1. And the next one is file 2. If this one pops up, it will remember that you were in file 2. Okay? So for example, if I want to switch to file 1, just type F1 and I'm there. Okay? I'm in file 1. Let's, for example, switch to file 3. F3, boom, I'm there. Let's even hide this. For example, I'm in 1. I'm in file 3. Let's switch to file 2. I'm in here. F2, boom, I'm there. Okay? Let's F1, I'm there. Okay? It's about 1 second. Okay? So this is also a nice feature. So instead of going back and forth, just pop up this functionality and write the file name. Okay? We have also a good thing about this is this feature. For example, let's just pick this one. Let's put this one. Let's reproduce 3 functions. For example, let's say second, and this is third. Sometimes, especially if you're writing OOP, oriented programming, you will have, for example, a class with a lot of methods in it. For example, human being, walk, talk, sleep, attack, and other things, okay? So one of the things that you may want to do is to, for example, switch between functions or methods, okay? So for example, you're in method sleep, you want to switch to the method attack or do something else, okay? So this is very useful or essential feature. And this SublimeText, you can do this using Control P, then the @ symbol. Look here, for example, I'm in this file. I'm in file1.js. What are all the available functions? We have the function first, function second, and function third, okay? In real world, you have a lot of functions, not just 3. Maybe 10, maybe even more, okay? So you just Control P, then you add the @ symbol. What you see here? It's first, second, third. I don't know if you can see it. You can see it. That's great, that's great. It's just the name of the functions, okay? Which is very cool. So you can switch between functions. Let's say, for example, let's say I'm in here. Let's create index.html. Let's say this, for example. This is the real world methods. For example, this. Let me just zoom out so you can see. For example, let's say this. Let's say 3. Say, for example, this one. Okay, so this is the real world examples. If you are writing or working on real world products, for example, you're writing a software or, okay, so it would be something like this. Something like this, if you can, let me just, it will be just like this. You have the function number 1 and a lot of codes going on here and comments, okay? And then if you just scroll down, then you will find the next method or function and so on, okay? So it's difficult to switch. For example, if you are in function 1 and you want to switch to function 2, you will go here, then function 2, okay? But if you are using this functionality, you will come, for example, here at F2, okay? What's this? He wants to come in? Let him in.
He wants to learn something.
Okay, so we are here to switch to function 2, second, and we are there. As you can see, the cursor is here. Okay, so we switch from here. Let's repeat this again. For example, we are here in function 1. Okay, we have the @ symbol, then second. As you can see, the cursor is there. So okay, so it will just go right to it. So you will focus directly on the function. Okay, so for example, just here, as you can see, now I'm there, I'm typing, okay? And then the nice feature also, you can also switch directly to the line number. For example, I'm in line 5, I want to go to the line, for example, 15, or you can do this, you can do it like this. For example, 1, I want to switch to the line number 15, for example. Boom. I'm in 15. As you can see, I don't know if you can see it, the blinking point here is the cursor point, okay? And what's the line number? Line number here, 15, okay? If I want to switch back, I pick the Control P, which means the file handling functionality, Control P, then colon, which means 2 points, colon, then the line number. For example, let's say, for example, I want to go to 10. And the nice thing, you can also choose the column number. For example, go to line 10, the column number 10, which means you go directly to the letter, for example, this and this. As you can see the cursor here. It's in the line 10 and the column number 10, okay? if we count from here, for example, from the basics, from here, let's say we have one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? So if we go again, we should have T highlighted. So 10, 10. Okay? It's the 10th character, okay? Which is pretty cool. Okay? For example, if I'm in this file, file 1, I want to switch to file. For example, we are here in file 2. I want to switch to file 1 in the line number, let's say 20. What we say? We say F1 colon 20. Boom. So I've done two things here. I switched the file. So I was in file 1. I'm now in file 2. And I'm also in the line number that I wanted, which is pretty quickly. Okay? So this is also a nice feature.
Can I do for functions same thing?
For?
Functions.
Actions. What do you want to mean? Functions. Yes, yes. That's a good question. For example, I'm in here. For example, let's say I'm in file 2. I want to go to file 1 to second. The method called second. What I do? Control P, file F1, second. Boom. I'm there.
Add second, right?
Yes, the at symbol. With a little bit of practice, it will be printed in your brain. Just practice for a little bit. Yes, okay? So you will move rapidly between functions, line numbers, and files, okay? That's a great point. Let's move on. We've talked about this, two methods. Yes, okay. We have also, like we said, use column, then the line number, then a colon, then the column number. For example, 2.10, 10, okay? We have also this, go to a function or a method in OOP. So it's like this, at the function name or method name, okay? Yes, this is oops. Yes. The first thing in oops, we have code foldings. Who knows about code foldings? Code folding. Code folding? Yeah, I think you know. Yeah, what?
It's the, in order to see the bigger picture in your file, you just fold your functions or your blocks.
That's it.
Single lines, so that.
That's it. So you will see just the caption or the etiquette of it. Let me show you an example. This is code folding. For example, this one. Example. This is code folding, as you can see here. This is nicer. This is nicer than this.
You should write smaller files.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you should use small. Yes, yes. Because even folding is called is considered as a bad thing, because if you're using folding, it's like how to say? It's like hiding behind the giant monster. It's considered a bad practice to have long functions. There is some exceptions, obviously. Some exceptions where.
If you don't care about that part of the file, for that now, it's much nicer to see only the level part. So,
Yes.
for example, in the Rust programming language, you write tests and implementation in the same file. So if you are writing Rust and writing tests right now, you might want to write the implementation. So it's usable.
Yes. Yeah. It depends on the situation. Yeah, that's it. There is always some exceptions. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so that's code folding. In SublimeText, for example, I have this one. I have these two functions. If I come here, in let's say, for example, we have here. Where is it? We have here the code. What is it? It was here. We have here, for example, Control Shift P, code folding. What we have here, code folding, unfold all, which means unfold meaning you have collapsed groups, then expand them. Okay, folding meaning collapsing them, and unfold meaning expanding. So you have expand the big definition of function, okay? So in this one, we have this one. This is not working because I have SublimeText modified in sort of not to use code folding, okay? Because I don't like it, okay? But there is some people who like it, okay? Depends on your, yes, okay? But it's a useful tip for some people, okay? Let's switch on now. We talked about code folding. It's in edit code folding, etc. We have also the mini map. The mini map is the nice small map here, okay? In the left or in the right corner, this one. This is the mini map. Can you see it? Can anybody tell us what's the utility or what's useful about this?
If you say a large giant table file, you can see very well, right?
Yeah, that's very good. For example, in this case, for example, in this precise example, this is a big file. In order to get to the bottom, you have to scroll, okay? Just grab this and, okay? But if you can look here, for example, I'm in the top. Just grab this, okay? I can go. And also you have a big picture of your code. For example, in this, believe me, you'll be scared if you see someone's code like this. Meaning that lines are filled, okay? So this is also a nice feature. So you will browse rapidly in your file if you have a big file, okay? So just go here, the mini map, and then scroll down, okay? Scroll down rapidly. For example, if you use the normal scroll bar, for example, or the mouse wheel, this one, it will take you some, for example, 2 or 3 minutes, 3 seconds. If you use this one, it's just faster, okay? This is called the mini map. It's a small map of your file, okay? We have also, the multiple layout, which is something very beautiful, which means that you have your screen split into different areas. For example, let me show you. For example, for this one, if I want or if I would like to open 2 files, file 1 and file 2 at the same time, I have this one. Yes. Okay, F2. Okay, I have the 2 files opened, how to say, vertically. You can open them horizontally, okay? So for example, if I have here, and I want also to add another, let's say, for example, I want to open also file 3, L2, let's say this one, and I want to split it. It's like, layout. We have 2 columns. We want, for example, 2 rows. Let's say, for example, we want 3 columns. What it will do? It will, see here, we have 3 columns. And this is useful in one case. Can you please tell us what's the useful case? The useful scenario. Where we can use this thing. For example, in my case, I have this small PC. I can't take advantage of this functionality because, look, single file, I can see, for example, 2 or 3 lines of code, which is not practical. This is useful in the big screens, in the wide screens. For example, you have big screen in your house.
Or maybe you have a test in the left and
yes.
in the right, so you have
Yes, actually, this is useful for big size. For example, if you have big screen or your computer is very big, you can split, okay? And also if you have multiple screens. For example, you have 2 screens, okay? For example, you open this one. It will show in the first screen and this one in the second screen, which is practical, okay? This is the multiple layouts. We have also, let's say, okay, we got to the most exciting things, which is build systems. Have you ever heard about them? The build systems. Tell us a little bit about this weird stuff.
So, like in almost every programming language, you have to build your code, even compiling or compiling your code. So especially web development and Node.js environment, you have lots of stuff going on, like packing the assets, like minifying your CSS files, etc. So there are lots of commands to run. Instead of running them, each of them manually, you just want to press Ctrl V, so it just runs your build or debug or whatever.
Yes, this is one definition of build systems. The ones that you're talking about, it's like
Yes. When you press the Ctrl V, is building the old projects or just that?
no, it's not that definition. He's talking about the building system like in the task runners, like Gulp or Grunt, for example. He's talking about one definition. Actually, the definition that I'm trying to get here is the second definition. It's not, it's true definition, but I'm looking for the second definition, if you know about. There is second definition. The second definition is simply, for example, if you have, like I showed you just a few moments ago, I was running Sublime, I was running JavaScript in my editor. This was because of build systems. Build systems, what they do actually, they will have, for example, you have JavaScript or Node.js interpreter, and you have SublimeText, and of course, Node.js has an interface so you can communicate with. So the build systems will communicate with the outer or the other languages and bring you the output. This is why I can use or I can execute JavaScript in my code editor, okay? And yes, let you execute some languages in your code editor. For example, in Sublime, for me personally, I use Python. I execute Python directly in my editor, so I don't have to go to the terminal and compile it. So just right away in my code editor. I have also PHP sometimes and JavaScript. Okay.
You define a new build configuration for Python and show the Python interpreter.
Yes. Yes. For Python, it's by default. Why? Because SublimeText is written in Python, so it's very easy. Just
JavaScript.
Yes. For JavaScript, you must include the path to the JavaScript interpreter. It's very easy. Just I'm going to show you how to do it in a few moments. Okay. For example, JS, Python, and PHP. You can also compile C files and Ruby's and every language. Why? Because it just communicates with our interface. Okay. It's just like a middleman. Okay. Okay. Let me show you how to write build systems. For example, let's say. For example, let's just close this. L2, okay. We have single layout. Okay, we're back to the single layout. For example, I have this file. It's a JS JavaScript file. I go here to tools. What I have here, I have build systems. And I have also here the default or the defined build systems. For example, for me, I have PHP lint, which is a PHP linter. And I have JavaScript also, and CoffeeScript. I have a lot of, and a bunch of build systems, okay? So for example, if I want to use JavaScript, what can I do? For here I have, let's go back, choose build systems. For me, what I have checked up, we have automatic, which means that it will choose the right build system according to the type of the file. For example, if I'm in JavaScript file, what it will do, it will take the JavaScript build system, okay? If I'm in PHP file, it will take the PHP build script, and that's it, okay? Let's, for example, try for PHP, create our own. What we do, we come here in build systems, we go to new build system, which means that we are going to create a new build system. We click here. It's a JSON entry, okay? It's a JSON object, so just change this to CMD, which means the comment. It's an array of the comment which is PHP, and here $file. $file meaning the current file. For example, if I'm in this file, file1.js, if I build the system on this file, it's the $file1. Okay, it's a variable defined by SublimeText. Okay, it's predefined variable. Okay, let's save this. let's try to save this under, for example, let's say Istanbul language. Okay, so this build is called Istanbul language. Hopefully you will have a language one day, okay? Okay, so what I do, for example, let's create a PHP file, for example, test.php. PHP, let's say echo bingo. Okay, we have this bingo. If we come here to tools, build systems, what you can see in the bottom, Istanbul language, which is added automatically to the list of the available build systems. Okay, if I click this one and then I hit Control B, it's a shortcut from the keyboard. Control B. What you see in the screen? Yeah, bingo, which means that this command was executed. Let's say, for example, we try a loop, because in loop it will be, for example, 4. Let's say, for example, we have 4, 0, 0 less than 10, 0 plus plus. Let's say, for example, bingo, just bingo plus. Okay, so just to break the line. Okay, so if we press again Control B, let's save the file first. Come on, why it's not printed to the screen? If you know PHP.
You forgot to echo IT.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Really does.
I don't know PHP before you put the echo.
Yes, because the echo word, yes.
Yes.
There is a missing echo in the first one, okay? So we have to add echo. Echo, which means console.log in JavaScript or print in Python, okay? So, what we have here? 10 bingos. Okay, so this is pretty cool. This is better than going to the terminal, for example, in the terminal, and listing all the files. And let's say we have test.php, then running php test.php. And you will get the same result, as you can see. We have bingo 10 times. We have here bingo 10 times. Okay? So not leaving your code editor is also a good choice. Okay? This is, I can also, for example, try the Python language.
How to build the HTML files with HTML-sensitive web files?
Actually, HTML you can't use it because HTML is very complex and it's depending on the browser. Because the output of HTML, you can't see the result, it's in the browser.
Okay.
It's a different story for HTML, CSS, and the others. But for the real languages like and interpreted languages like Python, JavaScript, like Ruby, like C, C++, Java, all of them, they have output, okay? So you can use it.
I just want to ask one thing more. We can use Ruby on the USEC, but can we use also the Rails, Ruby on Rails?
Yes, it's framework on top of Ruby, yes. You can use it, of course.
We can take output also.
Yes, you can. First of all, you must install Ruby, which is obvious on your computer. Then you will add the link to the executable of Ruby. For example, like this one, I have Ruby. For example, this one, I have Ruby. Okay, the command Ruby. Let's try VV. I have the Ruby installed in my computer. Then I have which Ruby, which give me the path to the Ruby installation or the Ruby executable. I just grab this one, as you can see, and copy it and put it here. Instead of writing just PHP, you will put the complete path to the executable. Okay? That's it. Okay? We have also, like we said, Python. Let's say, for example, we create new build. This one, Python. Let's save it under the name. Give us a name. Let's say, give us a beautiful name. I need your help.
It's a very difficult thing.
No, it depends on the word beautiful first. Let's say, for example, cat. Okay? It's the language cat. Okay? That's it. Let's create a new file with the Python extension. Let's say, for example, test.py. Okay, let's try print. In Python, we add the semicolons like this. In Python, we have this.
Yeah, in Python 2, you don't need semicolons. If it's Python 2, you don't need to put parentheses. If it's Python 3, you have to put parentheses.
Yeah, it's like Python 3 is a whole different story. But in basically what we know, we all know, or generally know about Python is that you don't, you omit the semicolons. And also, as you've said, it's space-based, so you indent your code with the spaces, not with the parentheses, with the curly braces. For example, we have a Python code. If I tap Control, let's switch to the build system. What we have? The cat, as you can see here, the cat build system. Okay. If we click here, the cat build system, then Control B, what you see in the console, hi there, which means that my code editor is also executing Python. So we have Python, PHP, and JavaScript. And all the other languages, you can put them or add them to your code editor, which is a very nice feature. Okay. Let's see what's next. Yes, we were here in build systems. We have also snippets. Can anybody tell us about the snippets? Code snippets, what they are? Code snippets. Can you please tell us? I don't know. For me, I don't know. Anybody knows about snippets?
To use code blocks.
To use?
To use code blocks like templates.
Yes, yeah, that's it. Like it's like templates. Like for example, you have this giant block. For example, in JavaScript, let's say, for example, in JavaScript. Do you know JavaScript, all of you? JavaScript? JavaScript. That's great. For example, in JavaScript, we have the word console.log, which may take 2 seconds. If you have a snippet, just here.
No, you are in.
Why?
You are in Python file.
Very good. You're with us. We have CL, then enter. Boom. This is a code snippet. It's already defined. Once I have this snippet CL and press enter, it will bring the whole word, which is practical for the big, for example, if you have to define functions in JavaScript. You will say function and the function name and the others. Okay? But if you do this, fun, you scroll here, you define the function, you pass to the arguments, then you have to return. Okay? Then you write. So instead of writing this function, then for example test, you do this. Okay? So it's you save a lot of time in this. It's like a boilerplate of code with mapped zones, so you can modify them. Okay? And then you pick it. Okay? Let's, for example, have this one. Let's say, for example, we want give us a big comment in JavaScript, if you know. Comment or big word, like it's like big word. Element by ID. Yeah, let's say this. For example, documents. It's like this. Document dot get elements. For me, I have auto-completion enabled also, which means it helps me. Get element by ID. Okay? This is pretty bad. So you can lose almost 5 seconds here. But if you use snippets like document, for example, ID. But if we can, the good thing about SublimeText is that we can define our personal snippets. For example, let's say define the one for document.getElement by ID. Let's say, for example, we will call it, for example, this one. What is it? New snippet. Let's say, for example, we want to call it ID D. Okay? Let's change here, for example, here to document.getElement by ID. And here in the parentheses, what it's the name of or the ID. And here, let's say, is the second. Okay, we have the trap trigger, which I'm gonna demonstrate in few. Let's call it IDD. Okay, let's remove all these unused comments. So we're left with this two. Okay, so this is IDD. So once I type IDD and press enter or tab, document.getElement by ID, it will be printed in the document. Let's see. If I go here, we have ID. As you can see, D. If I tab, which is very fast, okay? And as you can notice in this example, as you can notice here in this example, once I press the first tab, look here, the first tab, I'm right in the area where I can put my variable name. And once I tap for the second time, I will be at the end. Those for the first time and the second time, those are areas that are defined by me. This is like this. We have, you can see here, it's $1, which means the area number 1. Then if you press tab for the second time, you'll be here at the end. Okay, so you can play around with this. You can put them wherever you want. Okay, for example, you can let's say, for example, we are talking, for example, about console. For example, let's have a practical example, real world example. It's like, for example, let's define a function for function. Function. What we have also, we have the function name, then the parentheses, then parameters, then the curly braces, then the end of the function. Okay, so what we want really in the real world example, what we want this function, we want to give it a name, then pass here to the arguments, then play in this area, then go outside of the function. So we can map this. Let's say, for example, this is variable, which means the first variable. Okay, $1. Okay, this is parameters. We can, for example, it's the name $2, which means the second area. Okay, we have this, and the third area is here, third, and the fourth area. Okay, this is the fourth area. Let's call it fun. Okay, so once I hit fun, this boilerplate or this snippet will be printed to the document. Okay, let's just save it. Let's call it fun. Okay, so we have fun. If I come back here and I tap fun, the function name, then the argument, then here. Okay, I'm just using tap, this keyword. Okay, just tab. The first tab will be in this area, in this first area. In this area, the $1. If you press tab for the second time, you'll be here. Then you'll be here. Then after you finish here, you'll be out of the function. Okay, which is a pretty cool feature. Okay. Let's now get to. Okay, we are in snippets. Yes, this is your board with long terms. With long terms, you can use snippets. Also, some snippets that are needed for daily basis, like we've discussed, console.log if you're a JavaScript developer, or document.getElement, or the other terms. Also for DOM snippets, like document.get and the others. Okay, they are called DOM snippets. Okay, and we have also plugins. We will talk about plugins, then you can go. Okay, so can anybody tell us about plugins? Because for me, I don't know what are plugins, and I'm confused about plugins.
There are lots of plugins for SublimeText. At first, there was no plugin by default for SublimeText, but it's now default. There was no plugin management, but there's a huge website now. You can
That's great.
This is all the plugins that we can install. We don't have to
What's the name of the website?
I don't know. I didn't use Sublime for 3 years.
That's great. So you divorced with the Sublime. That's it.
But you don't have to unzip, you don't have to click install whatever. You just type get this plugin and get it.
Yes, actually the website is called Control Package.
Yeah.
.io, which means you go there and you pick the plugin that you want, then you install it. Actually, plugins are small improvement or new functionalities that are added on top of SublimeText and that are not implemented by default. Okay? For example, let's say for example you have a phone, smartphone. If you buy a selfie stick, it's an additional piece of, okay? It's not the default option. It's an additional option, but it's useful, okay? Plugins do the same thing, okay? And for SublimeText, there is a lot of plugins. You can install them, as they tell us. You have two ways. The manual way, which is you download the file, the zip file, and you extract it to your directory. And the other way, which is automatically, so you just fire the Comet Palette, and you search for the package name, then you get it. Do you have connection here? Internet connection?
I don't know, we are using
I think one plugin I see today, one theme for this is one plugin.
iTerms.
Theme, like
You're talking about the theme. Yeah, theme.
Did you heard?
Yeah, what's the name of the plugin? Yeah, it's a theme. Yeah, it's a theme.
And one Emmet. I don't remember actually. Emmet or
Emmet, yes, you're talking about Emmet. Yeah.
Quicker.
Yes, Emmet, this is one that is called Emmet, the one that you're talking about. This one. For example, if I'm in HTML, let's say I'm here. Do you know about HTML, all of you? HTML. For example, let's say I have div with a P and with a span in it. You can do this. Div, P, span. Then you write your code. But if you use Emmet, or you can div, P, boom. Okay? You can also, for example, multiply the numbers. Let's say, for example, we have div, P, and 3 span inside that P. You can. Yeah, this is a very popular plugin. There is a lot of popular plugins.
I saw in internet.
Yeah, this is very good and pretty handy for web development. For me, I use it a lot in web development because it's pretty cool. Okay, we have also. Let's see here. Here's the list that I use a lot. Okay, the plugins. We have the e-opener, which means that I open any file very quickly. We have also advanced new file. As you, I don't know if you've noticed this, for example, if I create a new file, I create it very fast. Why? Because I'm using this plugin, advanced new file. For example, if I want to create a new file, I won't go here and the new file, then Control S. I just Control N, and at the bottom, I write the file name, for example, file10.js, and that's it. The file is created. This is because of the plugin. It's a very practical plugin, okay? We have also auto file name, which means it completes the file name, okay, automatically. We have also code highlighters, which means that it gives colors to the code, okay? We have also color picker, which is this. For example, if I write RGB colors, for example, here, let's say style, color, red. As you can see,
Yes.
yeah, it's red. Let's say, for example, green. And even if I use, do you see here? If you're a web designer, you can use this palette and switch between colors, okay? Just in your editor, you don't have to leave your editor, okay? Just switch. For example, I want to pick this color, this one here. And once I'm done, I just, okay? So it's here. This is, okay? So this is the color highlighter. So just grab or put the color code. For example, if I use RGB, for example, let's say, RGB, for example, 0, 0, 0. Okay, which is the RGB color for black. Okay, so I get black in real time, which is also pretty cool. Okay, we have also Nuts Plus Fetch and a lot of plugins. And one of the good plugins, it's for to-do lists. I think all of you have to-do list. It's like the task that you have to do. It's called New Tasks. It's by an Iranian guy. Let's say, for example, new task. Yes, that's it. Task new. Tasks new. Yes, this one. Come on. This one. As you can see. Let's say, for example, today is the September the 7th. Let's say, for example, 7. I use it something like this. For example, it's not. We are too old for it. Yeah, in the future. Let's say, for example, here, go to, for example, Istanbul. Talk about Sublime text. Okay, for example, I have these tasks. Okay, so what I do, for example, this task is finished. I'm in Istanbul. Boom. I have this done. Boom. This is not done. Okay, you can also click here. Okay, and in the very bottom, you can see it, but you can notice in your editor, you see the percentage of the completed tasks. For example, you are 30% complete, or which is nice. Me personally, I have 2 plugins. One is for JavaScript for the Chrome. I don't know if the Chrome extensions. I have autocomplete plugin for SublimeText. For example, this one. For example, you can use the Chrome dot something. This one. This is I'm the creator of this plugin. So you have autocompletion. Just to write the Chrome, and it will gives you a lot of suggestions. Okay. We have also another plugin which is called Bower. I don't know if you've heard about Bower. Bower, it's like npm, but for the front end. Yeah, Bower, the package manager. Yes, I have also an old plugin for that. Okay. So let's see what we have again. The cat is looking here. Huh? He's from the window. He's looking for questions. So I think we are at the end. I have a lot of functionality, but this was just to talk a little bit, and maybe you're excited and you want to know more about SublimeText. So we will install it this night and start digging. Why not? Okay. So do you have any questions? Questions about this or something else?
Do you like Istanbul?
It's very beautiful and crowded place. Yes, yes.
I'm just curious about the race. Can I develop in some?
Yes.
I'm just.
Yes, I've used the Rails with Sublime for a period of time, but nowadays I'm using a lot of JavaScript, so I'm a little bit of Ruby. But it's very beautiful. It scales very well with the SublimeText.
If you want to develop on Rails, you should use Ruby from JetBrains.
I searched internet. They talked about Sublime, so I come here.
Ruby is an excellent editor. There's also free version of Ruby.
Okay.
You can download.
I don't know. Is it similar like?
It's much more advanced than Sublime, because Sublime text editor is a general purpose text editor.
Yeah, it's also for web development if you're using web. Like I showed you for colors and all the other stuff. You will find all just in web development. If you go to other things or the domains, you won't find colors in code editor. Maybe for code highlighting, but for the other stuff, you won't find it. Okay, that's good. So, yes, please go ahead.
How about debugging, for example, JavaScript debugging? I saw that there are some plugins, but
yes, debugging is a whole other story. Yeah, because debugging is the best thing is to use tools. There is a lot of well-known tools. Or you're talking about JavaScript or?
for example, yeah.
No. The first debugging you can get is the, for example, if you have syntactic error, for example. For example, let's say, for example, here in JavaScript, I have this file 1. Let's say console.log. Let's say, for example, I forget to add this one, the clues in this one, single quote. Okay. If I save the file and, for example, try to use this, Control B, what I get here?
Yeah.
This is kind of information that you get.
I'm in debugging, putting breadcrumbs and
No. This is advanced debugging that you're talking about. Yeah, no. No, it's not. It's
there are some plugins that exist that are really
they try to do that. Why? Because if you have like your token, it will be like opinionated stuff. Why? Because for example, for JavaScript, you have in Chrome developer tools in Chrome, which is very, very cool tool. For example, you can, as you may know, it's called the Smart Jet or something. It's a code editor, but the size of it is like 500 megabytes. SublimeText is like 10 mega or. Yeah. So if you want things like as your token, you will spend a lot of memory space. And for web development, Chrome is for me. Chrome or Firefox is number 1 and 2. So just stick with Chrome or Firefox. They are very, very good. Okay. And other questions? Questions?
No, I would just use it for the notes. Like I'm not looking at code, but I will just use it for the notes. I can get all the notes like I am completing my task.
That's great. You should try to put your hands on keyboard. Okay. So, but by the way, this is my. Let's come back to the first slide. I don't know if you. Yes. Here's my email. I don't know if you can hear it. ISMNOEUT. EI or ISMNOIET @gmail.com. Yes, that's good. I was about to do it. Like this. Yes, like this. Okay? If you can see it. Yes. Oops. This one. This is the username in GitHub. So github.com. You will get this. This is also. I have also Twitter, so I publish a lot of things in Twitter. Twitter, it's like this. Okay. Yeah, I have also. I have also in the old the what's called for presentation, the platform for presentation. The LinkedIn solution. Forget its name. The LinkedIn solution. There is Doc. Yeah, that's it. SlideShare. Also, my SlideShare is slide. I don't know, share.com, I think. This one. Okay, so I will put this the PDF document of this presentation there. Okay, so slideshare.com/YesI'mRight. Okay, and this is the GitHub account, and this is the Twitter. If you have any question, okay. And for the Gmail, as I told you, it's okay. This is the Gmail. Okay, so for me, it's time for me to ask you questions. What was good about the presentation or this small? No, we're done. So thank you for coming. Okay, thank you. Shukran.